Folks, happy Sunday. I hope you're having a blessed day. I know I sure was, until Donald Trump decided to leave whatever cave they had him in for the last 4 or 5 days while they were injecting him with the Illuminati serum that's keeping him alive, or whatever it is that he's receiving intravenously through his hand. But that's besides the point. He finally reappeared into the public eye to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Navy. He took Marine One, then Air Force One down in Norfolk, Virginia, to the USS George H.W. Bush, where he took to a crowd of thousands of U.S. Navy sailors to deliver a very, very great speech commemorating the Navy on their 250th anniversary. And it was totally, just about service, about the what makes us Americans. It totally was not a tasteless, borderline traitorous display of political hackery. But let's start first with President Bone Spurs reflecting on his own service in the Vietnam War.
Deployed a brand new unit, the Navy SEALs, to tear up Mekong River Delta. Problem with Vietnam, we stopped fighting to win. We would have won easy. We would have won Afghanistan easy. We would have won every war easy. But we got politically correct. Let's take it easy. We're not politically correct anymore, just so you understand. We win. Now we win.
Yes, political correctness. That's why we lost in Vietnam and we lost in Afghanistan. It totally wasn't because both of those wars were unwinnable quagmires against local populations who fundamentally hated us, and we were just trying to prop up criminally corrupt governments who had no chance of building the state required to actually fight these insurgencies. But that's besides the point. What matters is wokeness must be defeated. Donald Trump, who's a draft dodger who called people who served suckers and losers, just giving a little bit of free advice since he's at the podium. But let's not spend too much time on foreign policy. The president has some thoughts he needs to get off his chest on the domestic front as well.
But we have to take care of this little gnat that's on our shoulder called the Democrats. They want to give all of our money to illegal aliens that pour into the country. And, I have a bigger heart than they do. But the problem is when you do that, they come in by the millions. Everybody wants that, so you can't do it.
Yes, calling your political opponents gnats, literally dehumanizing half this country in front of the United States Navy, who's just, again, going silent, kind of awkwardly chuckling scatteredly as he's talking about illegal aliens. Again, this is an event celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Navy, and he's going on a rant about his political opponents, calling them insects in front of the military. If this was any other president, he would be impeached for this. But it's just another Sunday here in America. And it's not just me saying that too. He literally says, yeah, this is a rally, by the way. This is a political rally. Why are we even pretending it's not?
I thank a group of women from North Carolina. Look at these great. Will you stand up, please? These beautiful women have followed me. This is number 151. You could call a rally. This is sort of a rally. Let's face it. This is a rally. This is a speech of love. We all love our country.
Donald Trump using the military as little more than props, as usual, for his delusions. Everything's a rally for him, and when there's no worship of his words, he just gets confused and just kind of moves on. He's not used to not having a crowd that just loves him and worships him as a god. He tried to do this Barack Hussein Obama bit earlier too, and again, it's not a MAGA crowd, bro. They don't know all the MAGA lore. They don't care about you going Hussein and everyone's supposed to go, ooh, get it? Because he's Barack Hussein Obama, so scary.
A man that everybody loves. He was my doctor in the White House, and I got to know him very well. He was also the doctor for Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And he was the doctor for a man named Bush. And at a press conference, they asked him, who's in the best shape? Who's the healthiest? Who's the strongest? Who's the best physical specimen of the three? He said, that's easy. President Donald Trump. And I said, I love this guy.
Just completely silent on the deck of this aircraft carrier, which again, that's why Donald had to put on that USA hat, by the way, because otherwise the poof would have flown off with all the draft coming from the ocean up there. And it might be a little shocking to him that the people in the audience are maintaining their dignity while he tries MAGA applause lines. But, you know, read the fucking room, bro. But of course he can't read the room because his brain is literally melting. There is nothing going on upstairs. He can barely form phrases, let alone sentences. I mean, just listen to him regale the crowd with how he could have prevented 9/11. What?
For that. And please remember, I wrote about Osama bin Laden exactly 1 year ago, 1 year before he blew up the World Trade Center. And I said, you got to watch Osama bin Laden. And the fake news would never let me get away with that statement unless it was true. But I said 1 year before to Pete Hegseth, I said 1 year before, where's Pete? In the book, I wrote, whatever the hell the title, I can't tell you. But I can tell you there's a page in there devoted to the fact that I saw somebody named Osama bin Laden, and I didn't like it, and you got to take care of him. They didn't do it. A year later, he blew up the World Trade Center, so we got to take a little credit because nobody else is going to give it to me. You know the old story? They don't give you credit, just take it yourself.
Yes, if they don't give you credit for how you predicted Osama bin Laden a year before the Twin Towers fell, just take the credit for yourself. That is not me mocking him. That is literally what he just said. Spoiler alert, you don't get credit for shit you made up, dog. And again, what the fuck are you talking about? This is like listening to your drunk uncle who's like mid-overdose at Thanksgiving dinner, giving his usual yearly annual monologue to the table. There was a book that I didn't write that I said there was a page in there, and if they listened to me, we could have stopped bin Laden. Okay, sure, Grandpa, sure. Why don't we get you off the podium now and get you to bed? But before they put him back in his cryo chamber, it ain't a MAGA rally if you don't bring out the greatest hit.
Because I was president in 2016, and then they rigged the election on me. And then we caught him, didn't we? We caught him, but, you know, we had to run it again. I ran it again, and I got 250, and I got the World Cup, and I got the Olympics. Can you believe all of it?
I was president in 2016. Okay, first of all, no, you weren't. And they stole the election from me. No, they didn't. And I also, again, you're in front of the United States Navy, who is just kind of like... And this is why it's so hard with Donald, as always, because it's like, is it embarrassing or is it scary? Is it embarrassing or is it scary? It's a little bit of both, as usual. I mean, he lies as he breathes, so that's fine. But there is something about the visual of the guy who's aging, low functioning, just brain melting, in decline, both cognitively and physically, standing at the podium in front of the United States military, essentially saying, my enemies are your enemies, when his enemies are his political opponents. And, you know, of course, immigrants or whatever, because, I don't know, because immigrants are bad now in the United States of America. Not every immigrant, though. There is one immigrant who's just fine with Donald Trump.
Hooyah, Navy! Hooyah, Navy! Hooyah, Navy! It is.
Does South Park even need writers at this point?